Welcome back to Jack of All Trades, a guidance channel for young men. I labeled this video politics, which is maybe slightly misleading. What I'm really going to talk about today is being able to have a disagreement with somebody. All right, different roads sometimes lead to the same castle. And part of my discussion today is, I say politics. Today's a big day in politics. Today's election day. A lot of people disagree with each other, and we have a lot of hate and strife and discontent out there right now, and a lot of division. A lot of times, people see the same problem and they have different solutions for it, and that's not a cause for hate. And so I think when you talk about, if you're on the right or the left or Republican, Democrat, Independent, wherever you fall, a lot of people see the same issues. And they just have different ways of resolving them. Different ways, they think this is the most compassionate way, and the other side thinks this other solution is a more compassionate way to deal with it, or the correct way, or the right way. It doesn't make either of you wrong. It doesn't make one side right and one side wrong. It's different opinions, and people are different, and that's what makes the world interesting. And just because you disagree with somebody, you don't have to hate them. I think today a lot of times we take people's ideas as just that person. And we need to separate that. We need to separate a person's from their ideals. I know plenty of people who are on the complete opposite political spectrum that I am, and I work with those people, and some are in my family, and that's okay. I don't agree with them. I don't see what they see. I see it a different way. But there's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. It doesn't make them a bad person. It doesn't make them wrong either. We look at topics differently. And that's the beauty of living in America, is that you're allowed to have a different opinion, even if it's unpopular. I don't have to agree with you to like or respect you. And that is the sum of this video. I released this video today intentionally, and I think that's a really important quote. You are going to run into people your entire life that you do not agree with. And it's not just politics, right? I mean, you're going to run into people at work where you guys have a problem at work and you see the solution to be X and they see the solution to be Y. And you two disagreeing, you're disagreeing on the topic, okay? So try not to make it personal and try to separate the person from their idea. And understand that just because you see it one way, it doesn't mean that your way is the only way and your way is the only solution. It doesn't mean your way is always the correct solution either. So understand that people view things differently, and that it doesn't make them a bad person. It doesn't make them evil. It doesn't make them less compassionate than you. And that is a big thing that I see. It's like, well, I see it this way, and if you don't see it that way, well, then you're... And then boom, attacks on the person, right? So you're dumb, or you're ignorant, or you're not compassionate, or you don't care about blah, whatever the thing is, and that's wrong. So that's entirely wrong. They could very easily be as intelligent as you, and as educated as you, and as informed as you, and as compassionate as you, but they don't believe that your solution is the correct one, that they still think that this solution is the more intelligent, informed, compassionate. And it's okay to have those disagreements. And just because you two, or groups of people or two people can't agree on something, doesn't mean you have to hate each other. You don't. There's nothing that says that you can't still get along and agree that, like, all right, I see that you say that, I still think it's this, and move on with life. Don't get caught up in all this division and this hatred. Next quote: "He who cannot put his thoughts on ice should not enter into the heat of dispute." And I think that's important. If you're gonna start talking to people about these things, if you're gonna agree with people, you need to be able to put your own thoughts on ice and listen to what that person has to say. You might learn something. They might broaden, your thoughts on the topic. They might educate you. They might teach you about something that you didn't know about it, and they might not. But you need to be prepared for that. A little longer quote here: "Love is wise. Hatred is foolish. In this world, which is getting more and more closely interconnected, we have to learn to tolerate each other. We have to learn to put up with the fact that some people will say things that we don't like. We can only live together in that way. But if we are to live together and not die together, we must learn a kind of charity and a kind of tolerance which is absolutely vital to the continuation of human life on this planet." And so, a lot of people preach tolerance until somebody says something that they don't like, and then that goes out the window. So it's kind of like freedom of speech, right? It's easy to say, well, I love freedom of speech, until somebody says something that they don't like, or something that you don't like, and then all of a sudden maybe you don't like it as much. So Preaching love and tolerance, it's for people that you don't agree with. You need to be tolerant of people who have viewpoints that you completely 100% disagree with. You need to be tolerant of those people. It doesn't mean you have to agree with them. It doesn't mean you have to implement the thing they think, or that you have to agree, or even get to this, hey, we agree to disagree. You don't have to necessarily do that, but you need to be able to separate the person from the idea, and you need to learn to have true tolerance towards people who have different opinions than you. And you shouldn't end a friendship over it. You should learn to have an intelligent discussion where you two disagree and you hear each other out, and then you move forward with your life. We confuse disagreeing with someone's beliefs with disrespecting the person. In fact, we've confused the difference between people and ideas altogether. And that's so true. Where we once used to be able to challenge a person's beliefs without necessarily denigrating that person, we now think that challenging certain beliefs is the same thing as denigrating the person that holds them. And that's what I was just talking about. We have to separate the idea from the person. And so just because somebody is a liberal, it doesn't make them bad. Just because someone's a conservative doesn't make them bad. Because somebody likes Trump, somebody likes Biden, or somebody thinks, at work, somebody thinks the solution is to go do this, but you think the solution is to go do that. You two can disagree, and you need to learn to have an intelligent conversation where you disagree someone, where you don't get emotionally involved. You listen to their viewpoints, you consider what they're saying, and then you explain to them why you feel the way that you feel. And understand that just because you could say it perfectly, this is exactly how I feel, this is exactly why I feel this way, and somebody can hear that and then still turn around and be like, yep, that's still not what I think. I still think this other thing. And you need to be okay with that. You need to understand you're not entitled to their opinion. You're not entitled for them to believe what you believe. Disagreement is one thing, disrespect is quite another. And again, just because somebody disagrees with you, it does not give you the right to be disrespectful to them. It does not give you the right to hate that person, to attack them personally, to say that they're a bad person or less compassionate or less intelligent. There's no place for that. That's not what it's about, and that's not having an honest, intelligent discussion. That's really having a discussion in bad faith if you immediately jump to that. It's okay to disagree with each other. What's not okay is to hate each other because we disagree. And that's probably the most important quote in this entire slide deck here, and that's what I've basically been trying to say, is it is okay to disagree with each other, and you are going to disagree with people. No matter where you fall on the political spectrum, you can very easily find somebody who disagrees with you on some topic. But it's not okay to hate those people because they disagree with you. And then I like to end, as always, with a Bible quote, and this is going to be a little shorter video, but I just wanted to get it out there since it's election day, and I'm hoping maybe some people will see this who otherwise might think differently. To sum up, all of you be harmonious, sympathetic, brotherly, kind-hearted, and humble in spirit. And so, again, you may be a staunch whatever it is, or again, this may not be politics. This may be something you believe at work, or in your personal life. You are going to disagree with people. People are going to disagree with you. You need to understand that is okay. It is okay. It is normal, and does not give you the right to attack that person. It just means you two disagree on this thing, and that's okay. Move on with your life. Thanks as always for listening. I really appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll keep putting out videos.